There's a woman in your office, or maybe it's your building, or your neighborhood, someone in your orbit, and you have a quiet read on her finances without ever having discussed them. You've seen her car, a 2018 Honda CR-V, the kind that's had one owner and looks it. She packs lunch 4 days a week, not the kind that gets photographed, just a container and a fork. Her phone is 3 years old. She hasn't mentioned upgrading it. When the office does a dinner somewhere worth posting, she comes, she orders reasonably, she doesn't make a thing of it. Your read, she's being careful. Careful the way people are when they have to be. Her name is Renee. She's 38. She earns $75,000 a year. She has $340,000 in index funds. She has not mentioned it once. A few weeks ago, we calculated the cost of the defaults your bank set for you, the infrastructure you never chose, quietly taking a percentage of everything you earned. Today, we're going to calculate the cost of a different kind of default. Same mechanism, different arena. Because the question this episode is asking is simple. What is the scoreboard most people are reading, and what does it actually measure? Here is what the data says about that scoreboard. In 2024, 37% of Americans increased their monthly spending, while only 32% increased their income. That was the third consecutive year spending growth outpaced income growth, according to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Household Economics. And the personal savings rate as of late 2025, 3.6%. For every 100 of disposable income that comes in, $96.40 walks out the door. 96.40 out of every 100. Now that data is not surprising once you understand what people are reading. Visible lifestyle is the only publicly available signal of financial health. Net worth is private. Income is private. The investment account balance is private, but the car is in the parking lot every day. The apartment is in the conversation. The wardrobe is visible every Monday. She has been reading the only scoreboard anyone posts, and it measures spending, not wealth, right? Decades of research on American millionaires found something that should reframe this entirely. Most of them do not live in upscale neighborhoods. Most do not drive luxury cars. They are disproportionately found in middle-class and blue-collar neighborhoods, in practical vehicles with net worths that are invisible to everyone around them. And here's the counterintuitive part. High-income professionals, doctors, lawyers, dentists were among the most likely to look wealthy and have the least actual wealth. Because American culture prescribes what their lifestyle should look like. The income comes with a wardrobe requirement, the title comes with a car requirement. Nobody wrote the rules down, nobody had to. The research has a name for the two types. The ones who accumulate wealth quietly, PAW, prodigious accumulators of wealth. The ones who perform it, UAW, under-accumulators. And I know that sounds counterintuitive. The income is often the same. The scoreboard they're reading is not. And look, this brings us to the question most people ask, and why it's the wrong one. Most people look at their spending and ask, how do I afford the life I want? That question accepts the current lifestyle as the destination and looks for more funding. More income, better budgeting, a side hustle, all aimed at sustaining the thing that's already assembled. That is not the right question. The right question is, how much of what I currently spend is building the life I actually want, and how much is building the image I have been told to want? That is a math question, and it has a specific monthly dollar answer. Here's what that answer looks like. There is a cost embedded in most spending decisions that almost nobody has named or calculated, not the full spending amount, something more specific, the delta. The difference between what she spends to maintain a visible lifestyle and what she would spend if appearance were not a factor. I want to give that delta a name, actually. I need to give it a name because once it has a name, it becomes a number, and once it's a number, it can be calculated. The appearance premium, the single largest component for most people, the car. The average new car payment in the fourth quarter of 2025 was $772 a month, according to Edmunds, a record high. 20.3% of new car payments now exceed $1,000 a month. Also a record, a reliable 2018 vehicle paid off, costs nothing in financing and modestly more in maintenance. The differential between those two choices, roughly $500 a month. That is before wardrobe, before dining, before the experiences that are chosen partly for their signal value. At a conservative estimate for someone earning $75,000 a year, $500 in car differential, plus roughly $200 in wardrobe and dining and aspirational spending, the appearance premium lands around $700 a month. She did not sit down and choose this number. Nobody handed her a bill. And I mean, that's sort of the whole mechanism, right? Now, here is where it gets specific. $700 a month redirected into a diversified index fund at a historical average return of 7% over 10 years becomes roughly $121,000. $121,000. That is not the cost of her lifestyle. That is the cost of the premium, the delta above functional, the price tag on looking the part. The first time I ran this math, the number was not subtle. And here is the thing that makes it land. She was not trying to spend that money. The car was reasonable. Everyone at her level drives something similar. The apartment made sense at the time. The wardrobe came together gradually. Nobody sat her down and said, "Here is a $121,000 decision, please sign here." The premium assembled itself from decisions that each felt inevitable in isolation. That is what the consumer environment does. It does not mandate the upgrade, it models it, normalizes it, and prices the alternative as deprivation. It just needs to make one option feel obvious and the other feel like settling. Heh. The premium is not the same for everyone. It's not even close. It scales with income because the social expectations scale with income. $500 a month redirected at 7% over 10 years, roughly $87,000 foregone. $700 a month, roughly $121,000. $1,000 a month, roughly $173,000. The doctor, the lawyer, the marketing director, each has a lifestyle her peers expect. Each is paying a different premium. Almost none of them calculated it until now. The point is not which bracket she falls into. The point is that every bracket has a number, and the number was never visible because nobody showed her where to look. Here is what this looks like in 2 lives. Deja is 38. She earns $75,000 a year. She drives a leased car, roughly $600 a month all in. Her apartment is a stretch, but it felt right for where she was headed. Her wardrobe came together over a few years of considered purchases. She saves about $200 a month after everything else. She is not irresponsible. She is not reckless. She is playing the visible game, the one with social rewards, the one everyone around her is playing. After 10 years of saving $200 a month at 7%, approximately $35,000. Renee is 38. She earns $75,000 a year. Same employer, same city, same starting point. She drives the 2018 CRV. Functional apartment in a quieter neighborhood. Her wardrobe is fine. Lunch 4 days a week. She saves about $900 a month. After 10 years at 7%, approximately $156,000. Same salary, same city, same 10 years. The gap, approximately $121,000, driven entirely by a $700 a month decision that neither of them named and only one of them calculated. Now, I want to address something directly, probably the strongest objection in the room before we go further. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I genuinely like nice things. That objection is not wrong, and this episode is not arguing against it. Genuine preference spending is not the target here. The appearance premium is specifically the portion above what you would choose if nobody were watching. The upgrade that came from social modeling, not from examined preference. Only you can draw that line. The math does not draw it for you. It just shows you the cost of the portion that was not from genuine preference so you can decide whether that performance is worth the price tag. The goal is not to eliminate the premium. The goal is to make it visible. A conscious choice costs the same. It just costs them differently. Here's the thing, and this is what most people miss when they see Renee's car. She is not deprived. She is not driving a 2018 CRV because she cannot afford better. She is driving it because she did the math and decided that $500 a month in cash flow was worth more than a newer model. Every dollar not committed to maintaining an image is a dollar that can go anywhere, to the index fund, to the emergency fund, to the career risk she can afford to take because she is not leveraged against her lifestyle. The person who looks broke is not behind. She is unencumbered. And I do think unencumbered is the right word. That is a different thing entirely. And there is one more layer here that is worth naming because it is the layer that makes the trap permanent once it closes. Once lifestyle becomes identity, the spending is no longer optional. Deja cannot easily downshift. Her coworkers know her car, the apartment is in the group chat, the wardrobe is visible every Monday. To spend less would require a social explanation she did not sign up to give. The spending is load-bearing. It is holding up a version of herself that other people are tracking. Renee has no such problem. Her future income is not pre-committed to maintaining a visible self. Every raise she gets is genuinely hers to allocate. The $121,000 in the projection is only part of what the optionality produces. The rest of it is flexibility to take a job that pays less but matters more, to absorb an emergency without debt, to make a decision from a position of strength rather than from a position of being exactly leveraged against her income. That is what the appearance premium actually costs, not just the projection, the freedom you did not buy. One note on professional appearance, because it matters. There is a real version of this where how you look has genuine professional stakes. A specific outfit for a specific context is a calculated investment. A client meeting, a promotion conversation, a first impression with someone who makes decisions, those are real. The distinction is strategic appearance spending versus habitual appearance spending. One is chosen, scoped, and evaluated. The other is a standing subscription. Both are real. Only one was decided, you know? So, what does this look like in practice? Start with a calculation you have never run. Pull the last 3 months of spending. Go through it line by line, not to judge it, just to identify every item where the decision was influenced, at least partly by what it signals. The car payment, any housing premium above what a functional equivalent would cost. The wardrobe, the dining choices, estimate the monthly delta above functional. This takes about 30 minutes. You do not have to do anything with the number yet. I need you to have it first. Once you have the monthly number, run the projection. Multiply by 12, enter it into any compound interest calculator at 7% for 10 years. The number you get is the price tag on the performance. 5 minutes. You have never seen this number before. Now you will. Then find one item in that audit, not the entire premium. One line where the choice was more default than decision. One thing you would not have chosen if nobody were watching. That is the only thing this episode is asking you to examine. Not to eliminate, to examine. That separation between genuine preference and social default, that's the beginning of spending by decision instead of spending by environment. And then this, find out your net worth. Add up every account, checking, savings, investments, retirement. Subtract every debt. Write the number down. You have been tracking lifestyle in extraordinary detail. The car payment, the apartment, the wardrobe. You probably know those numbers cold. Most people have no idea what their net worth is. That is the scoreboard of the right game. Start tracking it. That number does not need an audience. It just needs to grow. Back to Renee. She is in the parking lot right now, next to cars that cost twice what hers does, driven by people who earn what she earns. Her coworkers still have the same quiet read on her. She has not corrected them. The 3-year-old phone, the packed lunch, the CRV that is showing its age, none of it has changed. What has changed, for the viewer watching this right now, is what those things mean. She did not opt out of success. She opted out of the performance. The $340,000 is what she built instead, quietly, without announcement, in a parking lot full of people reading a scoreboard that does not measure it. Success isn't what you can buy. Success is what you don't have to buy.